Good morning, welcome to a new video here on the living countryside. Today I'm going to take you on a journey around 4 of my favourite waterfalls in Wicklow, and each of them having a special meaning. So I'm Mark Phelan. Why don't you come along and join me for the ride? So good morning, yes, and my first port of call is here in Glendassan at the Poulanass Waterfall. Very popular tourist attraction, of course, so that's why I'm here bright and early. First car in the car park. From there, then I'll go around to Glenmalure and I'll take in 3 waterfalls that are very close to each other. The Coolalingo Waterfall, the Ballinafunshoge Waterfall, there's a mouthful, and the Carawaystick Waterfall. And there's been a lot of heavy rain here in the last 2 days, so I'm hoping that these waterfalls are showing all their might this morning. And following on from my last introductory video and my video of the trip up to see the deer rut, a couple of things I want to try and improve on in this video is first and foremost is focus on the photo. That's what I like to do. Make sure I capture the correct photo with the correct exposures and come away with something I'm happy with. Second of all, and something that I want to improve on, is something that I hopefully have done already, is improve my video skills, look directly more at the camera when I'm talking to you guys, and generally just be a little bit more concise with my information, and maybe a little bit more information too also on the actual shots I'm taking. For somebody new into this, there's a lot to take in and a lot to remember. So I'm hoping I improve this video over my previous one. If you see any improvements, please make a comment below, and if you think I can improve anything else, yeah, feel free to make a comment. I'd like to see your comments and see what you guys are starting to think. Again, this is all very new for me and something but I'm looking forward to doing. So yeah, onwards to the first waterfall, Poulanass, here in Glendassan. Yeah, you can already hear the cascades coming down, and certainly a lot more water in the waterfall from when I last visited a few weeks ago. But one thing that hasn't changed is the severity of these steps. They'll always be steep, but it's only a few more meters and we are there. So we're here at our first stop, the Poulanass Waterfall, and as you can see, this waterfall is in pretty much full flow. We've had a lot of rain in the last 2 days, and the cascades are really thundering down the V-shaped valley here at the Poulanass Waterfall. Now on, I'm going to refer to this one as Owen. Owen is my youngest son, and there's a lot of work going in behind this waterfall up on the hill. plenty of behind the scenes action, and it's only when you get out to the lake down below that you realise the amount of water that's come through this, and all the work has been worth it down the end. So as I said, this one from now on is going to be Owen's Waterfall. So I'm going to try and set up this shot. I've been here before, I think I know what I want, but I've got my OM1 Mark II and my 8 to 25mm wide angle lens. On the front I've got a CPL filter and an ND64. I use all the Urth filters. I find them really good. They're magnetic and they just clip on and off, and sometimes the filter, the ND filters in conjunction with the live ND in the OM1 work really well together. So I'm going to set up a few shots here, take a few images, and I'm doing all this handheld today, no tripod. With the image stabilization in this piece of kit, I can get up to about 1.3 seconds handheld with the image stabilization being firm, rock solid. So I'm going to take these few shots. If they turn out any good, well, here they are. Yep, so I think I've got everything I want here at Poulanass. 5 minutes spent shooting with the OM1 Mark II and the 8 to 25. Now it's time to hike back down to the car and drive around the southern section of the Wicklow Mountains to Glenmalure. Next stop, Coolalingo Waterfall. So this is the river coming down from the Poulanass, or as I now call it, Owen's Waterfall. And the river finds some flatter contours along here and heads on down towards the upper lake in Glendassan. Just what a beautiful place this is. The river follows its course around this U-bend. And this tall, majestic oak tree lining the riverbank. What a beautiful place Glendassan is. And then here's where the river takes a little bit of a breather, but ultimately finds its way out into the massive expanse of the upper lake in Glendassan. What a vista. And it's only here where you really fully appreciate the work that the waterfall of Poulanass, Owen's Waterfall, has done on its journey. Okay, that's Glendassan done. On to the next one, back to the car park and off to the Coolalingo Waterfall in Glenmalure. Wow, let's just take this in one more time. Anyone who knows me knows about my love for cycling, and it'd be remiss of me while travelling from Lara over to Glenmalure, which is way down there in Valley, not to stop and just have a quick look at the Shay Elliott Memorial here. Shay Elliott was one of our great Irish cyclists. Before Kelly, before Roach, we had Shay Elliott, and this is a memorial to him on the pass, on the highest point as we head down towards Glenmalure. And I suppose while I'm here, I'll take a selfie with my good old phone in memory of Shay Elliott before I head on down to Coolalingo. Yeah, so I've left the car and hopped over the wall to this secret little path with the river beside me, and this river is in full flow after 2 days of heavy rain. And I was here early in the summer, and while there was still water in the river, it was certainly a lot less volatile than it is right now. So I have to take a little hike up this path for about 10 minutes, just taking it easy, making sure of my feet. And I couldn't help but notice on the way down, you know, this is what we would call a soft day in Ireland. And I was coming over the gap from Lara to Glenmalure, and the fog was down in the valley, and I felt like I was driving by so many excellent landscape opportunities. I immediately thought of Guido van der Water and how this would have been his domain, loads of trees shrouded in the mist, etc., down in the valleys. And Guido is one of my kind of idols. I follow all his stuff on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. And maybe one day, Guido, if you ever see this, you might come over to Ireland, and I'll show you around some of these places. Anyway, on with the walk. A few more minutes in here, and the power of the water coming down this stream is just phenomenal. Can't wait to see what's up ahead of me at the waterfall. So from my memory, as I come up around this little bend, we should get the first glimpses of the Coolalingo Waterfall. Ooh, watch my step. Since I've been here last, I think Storm Amy has come through since that. So there's a lot of dead wood around. And there it is, the waterfall up ahead. And the power and the volume of water that's coming down that compared to the last time I was here is absolutely unbelievable. So far, yeah, I even see a few photographers up here, which is going to cramp my style a bit, but hey ho, they know that this thing is in full flow as well. But we'll head on up there and let's see what photos we can get. Yeah, so I'm here, as you can hear, I'm at the Coolalingo Waterfall, and my God, this baby is in full flow after 2 heavy days of rain. And when I got here, I met 2 really nice guys, Mark and Wojciech from Northern Ireland. Shout out to them guys, it was nice to meet you here. They were down here too, they're on a trip of Wicklow, taking some photographs as they love to do, and it was really cool to meet some other guys. But as you can see, the waterfall behind me is in full flow. I've got my OM1 Mark II 8 to 25 mil. I've got a polarizer on the front and an ND64. I'm going to shoot this waterfall handheld. I'm not sure how many shots I'm going to get, because when I was here earlier in the summer, I could walk out amongst these stones and get more face on with the waterfall. So I'm going to have to shoot more from the side. But again, let's see what I can get. This is all going to be handheld, and join me. Of all the water dropping down off the cliff over my head, and this is a bit of a precarious stance, but I'm at ISO 200 here. Try and get those rocks, a few rocks in the foreground at 5.6, and I'm at 1 second exposure. Yeah, maybe slow it down just a tad. Be really cool to get out there a little bit, but it's not going to be possible. I see this big old log here. It's kind of like it's kind of leading the eye to the waterfall. Let's see, can I shoot that in the foreground? Yeah, and the log is kind of leading awry up to the waterfall. Triple cascade waterfall, of course. Yeah, they're looking pretty okay so far. What a magical place. I find this waterfall a very calming place. I have no phone signal here. And I find it a very artistic waterfall with its 3 cascades dropping down into the plunge pool, all these rocks and boulders as the water flows over and on down a very steep gradient, it must be said, but it's a truly magical place. It's a truly artistic place. And there's one person in my family that I know loves art and is very arty and loves everything to do with art, be it with her crocheting, colouring, writing even, composing, and that's Lara. So from now on, this waterfall, the Coolalingo Waterfall, is going to be called Lara's Waterfall in my family. What a magical place. So I couldn't really get any closer to the waterfall back behind me. So I've just come down a little bit downstream, and I'm seeing some nice big boulders here in front of me. And I'm going to try and compose a shot with the boulders in the foreground leading back up to the waterfall. I love this big tree behind and the colours of it in autumn. I'm just wondering, is the sky going to be a bit blown out, or can I take care of it in post? I'm not really sure. We're going to shoot 1 or 2 here and then leave this magical place. Definitely next time I'm going to have to bring some wellies and get in there and just brave it. But for now, if any of these shots worked out, here they are. On to the next waterfall. I'm just parked up. I've got about a 5-minute walk back to Carawaystick Waterfall. Beast of a waterfall, especially after a couple of days rain like we had. You can kind of see it there in the distance, thundering down the mountainside. No access to this one, unfortunately. It's on private land. I think the farmer closed up the gate to this waterfall after somebody went in on his land with a dog on no lead, so can't blame him for that. But that's the waterfall over the hedge there in the distance. We're just going to head on up here to the crest of this hill, and let's see, can we get some shots from the road. Welcome back, and so I've arrived at the third waterfall location of the day, and this is Carawaystick Waterfall in Glenmalure. Glenmalure is Ireland's biggest longest glaciated valley, so I'm told. And this is certainly one of the longest, biggest waterfalls. Let me flip you around, you can have a look. So you can see it in distance. I think it drops about 60 meters from top to bottom, and this is a fiery one. If this was going to be in a football team, this would be the captain and the leader, this waterfall. It's extremely violent at the moment, a lot of water coming down along it, but this waterfall would be your leader. Of all the four, this is the biggest, longest, and the most powerful. And certainly one person in my family who I know is a leader, very powerful, and this waterfall reminds me of her. So from now on, this is going to be Abby's waterfall, because I can see her in it every time I come by it. She's a leader on the field, she's a leader in the classroom, a very powerful young woman. This is Abby's waterfall. Let's take some photographs. I'm not sure, I think this is private land, so we can't get in there, but I'll take a few shots from distance here. Nice little cottage in the foreground. Let's see what we can compose, and if we get anything, well, here's the shots. So we've reached the final waterfall of the day, and it's the Ballinafunshoge Waterfall here, this little park up Glenmalure. Just a little short hike in here to the waterfall from the car park, and you can see it in the distance. And this waterfall is always here. This waterfall is a constant. In the driest of summers, you'll still come here and you'll find a trickle, whereas with some of the others you won't. The flow of this waterfall is very constant and steady. You know, it's one of those, it's not the biggest waterfall, it's not the smallest waterfall, but it's a waterfall you can always rely on. And I love it here. And it's one member of my family whom this waterfall reminds me of. And that's my eldest boy, Ben. So proud of him and everything he's achieved in his life so far. He's solid, he's consistent, and he's just everything you could want from a son. Very much like this waterfall. I can come here anytime and it'll always be here. So from now on, the Ballinafunshoge Waterfall to me is Ben's waterfall. So you can see the waterfall coming down the mountainside and drops in to this beautiful little stream as it winds its way down the valley and right down into the bottom of Glenmalure, and then heads off south to the Irish Sea. Yeah, so let's see what kind of shots we can get here. So on the last waterfall I went with the longer lens and my 100 or my 12 to 100 mil because that waterfall was so far away. I've gone back to my wide angle landscape, it's my 8 to 25 with my CPL filter and my ND64 magnetic mounted on the front of the lens. I'm going to do handheld long exposure again. Well, how long? But 1 second. But that's enough to slow down this waterfall and get those dreamy, creamy effects that I'm looking for. First composition I can see down here, I see a nice rock that I'm going to use in the foreground. So I'll kind of stumble down a little bank here and let's see what I can get. quite precarious. Oh, wet. First wet foot of the day. So yeah, I'm just trying to frame up this with the rock in the foreground. And then it's the stream is leading us back and up the waterfall. I'm doing this in portrait mode at 1 second exposure and handheld. Yeah, I definitely think we've got something to work with there. Just walk around a little bit up towards the waterfall, the face of the waterfall. Let's see what we can get up here. And I will leave you guys just there. Yeah, you're straight and you're not falling over. So we're right at the base of the main falls now. And again, we got some nice boulders down here in the foreground. I hope you can see them. And those boulders then will take the eye in and hopefully up the waterfall. And this is me trying to really grab a handle of composition in landscapes, something I was brutal at, something that I'm still learning. But let's see what I can get. As always, we like to get a little bit closer. If I can just stumble down here and try not to get wet. That's the beauty of this OM system. I can do 1 second long exposures, all handheld. No need for a tripod. Which makes this system so much more portable and easy to use in the field. This is just amazing. I can feel the spray, even though it's raining. As we say in Ireland, it's a bit of a soft day, but I can feel the spray coming off the waterfall. What a beautiful place. Quick check to see if I got any shots. I think I've got a few. See, can I stumble back up out of here? Yeah, so a couple of shots there. One with the stream heading up the waterfall, and one then more directly in front with the leading lines of the boulders leading your eye, hopefully, into the cascade itself. I have a couple of small little things to do in Photoshop. There's a horrible sign there that has to go, but that's just one of those things we can do nowadays with software. But for now, at Ben's Waterfall, here are the images. And while it's absolutely wonderful to be out in these conditions, and it's an overcast day. It's a soft day. The drizzle is hanging around the mountains. You know, it's not a day that you would normally go out in, but I just love being out in this type of weather. This is the kind of weather I'm out in working at a lot of the time as well. But while we're out, I'm here and I'm in the wilds of the Wicklow Mountains, and I'm in the beautiful valley of Glenmalure. There's always something that brings the mind, focuses the mind back into reality. And unfortunately, when I flip you around, this is the reality. So somebody was obviously here camping, and while they've generously packed up the rubbish in black bags, everything has just been left behind. Or maybe the national parks have come and put all this in black bags. I'm thinking if anyone's going to leave this behind, they're not going to leave it in black plastic bags. But what a mess. Rant over for now. So it's time to wrap up this video here in Wicklow. Going around looking at 4 waterfalls, which, as you probably now know, mean a lot to me. Big thank you to all my family for all their support, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd appreciate it if you took time to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to comment. I'd love to read your comments and reply to those comments. Did you like the video? Did I improve from the last one? Have I better interaction with the camera? Are my photos decent? I hope I'm improving in my compositions, certainly in landscapes. And yeah, it'd be great if you could just like and subscribe and share this video if you got anything out of it. But until the next time, I'm Mark Phelan for the Living Countryside. Thank you and goodbye.